Hi guys, welcome back. This video we are going to create this pendant. We'll start by laying out our curves and then using a few tools to create the body of the pendant, and then we'll go through and create the bail again. So let's jump in and get started. First I want to create the outside shape of our pendant. This is going to be a simple curve. So I want the circle tool, this is it here. And for the center of the circle, I want this to be the world origin again. So 0 and enter. And I want this to be, shall we say, 20 millimeter diameter. So 20, enter. And if I select this, we can see in our box edit panel that we are 20 millimeters. So the second circle is going to sit on the inside, and it's going to be thinner at the top and a little bit thicker at the bottom. So I'm going to draw just a bit of a guideline. I want to sort of bring this down maybe 2.5 millimeters, something like this. So I'm just going to grab a simple line, click here at the quad. You can see we've got the quad snap enabled down here. Click here and draw out 2.5, enter. If I hold down shift to constrain that curve straight down, and then right click to terminate that command. Now I want the circle tool, and you'll notice that with every tool that we select, we do have these additional options up the top here. And these are going to dictate how the tool is run, or if there's any other options that we want to have a look at. The one that I want is 2 point. So this is going to create a circle through 2 points. I'm going to snap here, and then you can see if I hold down shift, I want to create something. It looks a little bit like that. So we are thicker at the bottom here, thinner at the top. We can check the size of this bottom one here by coming up to dimension and choosing aligned dimension. And again, I'm going to snap to this quad, that quad, and as we bring that out, we can see that is just shy of 5 millimeters, or roughly double the thickness of this top one here. So we can delete that, or Control-Z if you prefer. Now I want to create a profile. Basically, we are going to have a cross-section here, and then we are going to use these two curves as rails, and our cross-section is going to run around these two rails. So if I come to this right section, I know that I've got 1 point here and 1 point around here. So again, let's grab the circle command, and again, it's 2 points. And I can sort of check in the top, or this perspective viewpoint, whereabouts I'm placing these. So let's start with one here, and I can drag that in. I know that's 2.5 millimeters deep. You can see we're snapping to the inside there. So again, in the right viewport, let's snap to 2.5. Now we can delete our little guideline there. That's fine. So we've got our inner and outer rails, and we've also got a profile. That's it there. So let's use a command called sweep to, and this is going to create our surface. If we come to the surface tools, you can see on the side here we've got sweep to rails, or the command is sweep to. So I'm just going to type sweep to, press enter. It's going to ask us for 2 rails. This is the first rail, and either the inside or the outside. Now it's asking for the second rail. And now it's going to ask for the sweep shapes, or the profile, and that's going to be this one here. So now I've got those 3 selected, I can press enter. And it's going to ask us for a seam point. Now, just like a circle needs a start and an end point, if you're to draw a circle on a piece of paper, it's going to have a start and an end point. And we can change this if we want. I'm not going to change it now because I'm kind of happy with that, but it is going to leave a line. The way that you do change this is just by clicking on that white dot and then sort of moving that to where you want it. So I can change it to the inner edge if I wanted. And now I can press enter, and we're going to get this, this shape here. So if I leave all of these as default, I'll press OK. And let's change this to shaded, and this one to ghosted. Right click to rerun that command and rerun that again. And you can see that as these 2 rails get further apart, our profile is also getting thicker to keep that circular cross section. So let's just delete that, and I'll show you what happens if we want to keep the same height. So let's use the sweep to, and again, first rail, second rail, profile. Press enter. Again, we've got our curve seam. That's fine. I'll leave that there. And you can see that we've got this option here for maintain height. And what that's doing is it's pretty much what it says. It's not getting thicker as our rails get further apart. So we can press OK. And what's going to happen is you can kind of see we've got an oval shape here rather than maintaining our circular shape. So that's kind of it. That's very simple, very straightforward. That's how we use the sweep to. Now, if I select the top profile, well, our only profile, I can turn our control points on by pressing F10. And sweep to has history enabled. If you remember, we did have record history, so it's always on. So I can actually adjust this, and our entire pendant will update as we adjust the shape of this profile. So Control Z, and I'm quite happy with that. So this pendant is quite simple. Let's see if we can play with the profiles and add a little bit more complexity to this pendant, a little bit more interest. Let's grab this and delete. And I want to use this curve here. I want to mirror this across to the other side. So I'm going to use the command mirror. I'm just going to type that out. Now the mirror plane is going to be the world origin. And if I just hold down Shift to constrain this straight up, then I've created a copy over here. Now let me come back to standard, and I'm going to copy this from this point here to the inside of our circle. So now you can see that we've got two circles slightly overlapping because this distance from here to here is slightly less than 5 millimeters. So let's grab both of those, and I want to trim away our intersection. So trim, just going to type the command trim that and trim that. Right click. And now I want to join those together. So Join, join. And you can see that we have a closed curve if you look in our properties panel. So now we have a single curve up the top here and a double circle at the bottom. So let's see what happens when we run a sweep to. Coming across to surface tools, we want our sweep to command. And again, we want the first rail, second rail. And this time it's going to ask us for our profiles. We've got two profiles. So let's select this one first and then this one. Right click, and we'll right click again. And now you can see that because we have two profiles, we've got the option of either stopping there, or we can enable closed sweep, and that's going to continue on around. And let's press OK. And now you can see that we've got this curve which goes from a single circle into a double circle at the bottom. Let's see if I can change the display mode and show if that's a little bit easier to see. I get the feeling that render's not going to help us too much. It kind of helps there a little bit. I'll tell you what, let's go back to shaded. And now if I come across to display, I'm just going to come and turn off surface ISO curves. And you can see a little bit better what's going on there. And we can turn those ISO curves back on if you prefer, or leave them off. Doesn't really matter too much. I do like leaving them on because I can see the direction of our surfaces. So that's quite nice. We've now got this sort of a double circle pendant. Let's go and have a look at creating a bail for this.